Good day, everyone. I am Martes Tibolpa, and for today's presentation, I will be discussing Unit 4, the challenges and problem solving, specifically the topic handling misbehavior. So, as future teachers, we know that teaching is not only about delivering lessons and explaining concepts. We also have the responsibility to create a classroom environment where learners feel safe, respected, and ready to learn. However, in an actual classroom, different behaviors can sometimes interrupt the teaching and learning process. So the question is, how should a teacher respond when a learner misbehaves? Should we immediately punish the learner? Should we ignore the behavior, or should we first try to understand what is happening? In this presentation, we will explore these questions and learn appropriate ways of handling misbehavior fairly and responsibility or fairly and fairly and respectfully. Alright class, let us begin with a situation. Imagine that you are teaching a mathematics class. While you are explaining how to solve an equation or mathematical equation or problem, one learner keeps talking to a seatmate. Another learner refuses to follow your instruction to answer the activity. Then another learner is using cell phone while the lesson is ongoing. So as a teacher, what would you do to your learner? Would you immediately scold them? Would you send them outside the classroom? Or would you first determine why they are behaving that way? So there may be also there are some reason why learners not misbehave, shows misbehave in the class. Maybe the learner is checking an important message from home, or another learner maybe refuse to participate because the mathematics activity is difficult for them and they are afraid to giving a wrong answer. So this shows us that the behavior we see may not always tell us the whole story. So therefore, handling misbehavior requires not only discipline but also observation. So understanding also and a good judgment. Before we proceed to our discussion, these are our learning objectives. So this is our introduction to our topic. So classroom management is a central responsibilities of a teacher. Learning becomes difficult when behavior repeatedly interrupts instruction, relationships, or participation. For example, imagine spending 5 minutes trying to stop learners from talking, then another 5 minutes na po spent dealing with a learner who refuses to follow instructions. So eventually, valuable instructional time is lost. So sayang. This is why effective classroom management involves establishing expectations, routines, positive interactions, and appropriate responses. So, more importantly, handling misbehavior should be viewed as a problem solving task. So, the teacher first identifies the behavior, then, the teacher considers its possible causes. Then, after that, teacher chooses an appropriate response and follows up. So instead of asking only, how can I punish this learner? We should ask, what is happening and what response will help this learner return to productive behavior? So what exactly is classroom misbehavior? So when we say classroom misbehavior, it refers to the behavior that interferes with teaching and learning, violates reasonable classroom expectations, or negatively affects the participation, safety, or rights of others. However, it is important to remember that every behavior should automatically be treated in the same way. We need to consider its frequency, intensity, context, and impact. For example, a learner talking once during a discussion is different from a learner who repeatedly interrupts the class despite several reminders. Similarly, using a cell phone for a few seconds may have different context from continuous playing game while teach. One very important principle is this: address the behavior, not the learner's identity. Instead of saying, "You are a bad student," so we can say, "Talking while your classmate is presenting is making it difficult for others to listen. So please give your classmate your attention." So this is especially important in our local classroom context because learners come from different family backgrounds, communities, and personal experiences. So a teacher should correct behavior while still protecting the learner's dignity. Discipline should correct behavior, not destroy confidence. So, ing ani jud mahitabo sa especially in when we are in the field puhon na jud tay mga syempre natay we expect na natay mga diverse learners, so there are learners nga na jud mga ingani nga behavior. So dapat we as future teacher, dapat kabalo ta mo handle for this. So there are several common types of classroom misbehavior. So the first one, we have disruptive behavior. So some examples for this is talking, calling out, unnecessary noise, interrupting. So possible impact, we have loss of instructional time, reduced attention. So the second one, we have non-compliance, refusing reasonable instructions or ignoring procedures. Then possible impact, we have breakdown of routine. So the third type of classroom misbehavior is off-task behavior. So some examples for this is unrelated phone use, sleeping, other subject work, and avoiding tasks. Possible impact, we have reduced participation and learning. So of course, then we have the fourth one, we have interpersonal misbehavior. So teasing, disrespect, conflict, and intimidation. So say possible impact ani, so it damage relationships and sense of belonging. So and the fifth one, we have academic dishonesty. So kalagmitan mahitabo jud ni siya sa class. So example for this, we have cheating, copying, unauthorized assistance. So a possible impact is our unfair assessment, weakened integrity. So and finally, we have aggressive or unsafe behavior. So grabe ni siya, like example, threats, fighting, serious intimidation. So have you as what we have heard or watched the news in Tacloban, atong estudyante nga namusil. So that's the example for this common types of misbehavior. So iyang possible impact is potential harm. It requires prompt action and school procedure. These behaviors differ in seriousness, so they should not all receive the exact same response. So the teacher must consider the severity and circumstances of the behavior. According to Imir and Evertson in 2016, misbehavior does not always have one cause. So teachers should consider classroom conditions, academic difficulty, peer dynamics, learner needs, and relevant circumstances before choosing an intervention. So, of course, one possible cause is unclear expectations or inconsistent rules. For example, if learners are sometimes allowed to use their phones during class and sometimes punished for using them, they may become confused about what is actually expected. Another cause is boredom or lack of engagement. A learner who feels that the lesson is too repetitive may lose focus. Misbehavior can also result from peer influence. For example, a learner may begin talking because their friends are talking. Another possible cause is frustration or difficulty with the lesson. So this is especially relevant in mathematics. A learner who cannot understand a problem may become frustrated, stop participating, or distract others. They may also be attention-seeking behavior, personal or family-related concerns, or unmet learning and emotional needs. So therefore, before reacting, teachers should ask, what might be causing this behavior? Understanding the cause does not mean excusing the misbehavior. It means helping us choose a more appropriate response. Now, let us discuss the appropriate strategies for handling misbehavior. First, establish clear and consistent expectations. So, at the beginning of the lesson, tell learners what behaviors are expected. For example, during group activities, one person speaks at a time. Everyone participates and phones should only be used when instructed. So second, use calm verbal reminders. So instead of shouting, we can calmly say, please focus on the activity. Third, redirect the learner towards the expected behavior. So for example, please put the cell phone away and return your attention to mathematics activity. So fourth, use proximity and nonverbal cues. Then uh, and fifth, listen privately to the learner's explanation. Then six, apply fair, logical, and proportionate consequences. Then number seven, reinforce positive behavior. So number eight, document and seek support for repeated or serious concerns. Now, these are important. These are appropriate strategies for handling misbehavior. So, dapat kabalot ta kung unsay mga strategies to um, to handle or to handle misbehavior. Now, why is appropriate classroom management important? So first, it creates safe, orderly, and positive learning environment. Second, protects instructional time. Third, provides predictable expectations and routines. Then, it supports engagement and academic learning. It builds respectful teacher-learner relationships. Then, it prevents minor problems from escalating, and lastly, it promotes fair and consistent responses. Before we end, let us remember the most important points. So first, misbehavior can take different forms and may have different causes. So effective classroom management is preventive as well as corrective. Then the third one, we have teachers should respond calmly and consistently and fairly. Then the fourth one, listening can help teachers understand situations before deciding on a response. Then the fifth one, consequences should be reasonable, proportionate, and connected to expectations. Then finally, the ultimate goal of handling misbehavior is not simply to punish. The goal is to restore productive behavior, protect learning, and maintain respectful teacher-learner relationships. So, as future teachers, we should remember that Every learner deserves correction with dignity and respect. So these are the references. As future educators, let us remember we do not simply manage behavior. Instead, we help learners develop better behavior. And that is an important part of being an effective and compassionate teacher. So, as the quotation in our presentation reminds us, behavior is the mirror in which everyone shows their image. Thank you very much for listening. So, once again, I am Artes Di Bolfa. Thank you and God bless.